Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Richard, aka The Warden, and we are Span the Globe podcast. Unfortunately, Mark is away for today, and I'm filling in for him. Let me bring in my co host, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Mr. Andy Bolger.
Hey everybody, how you doing, Richard?
I'm doing good. This is the first time for me, so guys, be patient.
First time for everything. No big deal.
How we doing tonight? Hopefully our other co-hosts will join us tonight as well. Like I said, Mark is away for the evening. He will be back next Thursday.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have a good show. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna wing it as best as we can.
So let me get the our sponsors out of the way.
Okay.
Bear with me, guys.
No problem.
Our first sponsor of the evening. Remember, if you need a belt leathered,
I've heard of that
Mark.
guy.
Mark Leather for all your leathering needs. And also another sponsor of our show, Unique Spirits. For all your wrestling belt needs, contact Unique Spirits. Also, we want to thank the brothers at Kayfabe Podcast for helping us out while being part of the podcast and helping us do our thing every
Thank
Thursday.
you.
Thank you guys for all your help, and we appreciate every single one of you.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Okay, topic for this evening. Andy, you have anything to bring to the table first?
I thought it would be fun to everybody go back in their history and come up with their biggest or most shocking heel turns, and then of course the other side of the ledger, their most surprising, or however you want to call it, face turns.
Good evening, Drew.
I have a list that I did. So,
What's up, Platinum?
hey, Platinum.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
If I can get it. What's up, Nora?
Hang on.
We are trying to get this down pat. There you go.
Hey, Nor.
So we're talking about heels.
Yeah, when somebody says to you, Richard, what heel turn just, what one comes to your mind? Somebody mentions that. What comes to mind immediately? That's like, that one got me shocked.
Mine would have to be Hogan.
When joining the NWO?
Join the NWO. Because I'm a Hogan mark.
Oh, yeah. We all were. I mean, I know I was, and, as things got later and that, I didn't want to be champion in WWF anymore, but yeah, he came in as the third man in the NWO. It was like he reinvented himself.
Back then, we didn't know, when the good guys were good, they were good, eat your prayers. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins and stuff like that, and all of a sudden he dons the beard and joins the NWO.
But you had a little feeling, didn't you, that something was kind of...
I really didn't expect it was him, to be honest with you.
Well, I didn't expect it, but I'm just saying, about, the kayfabe of it. It's, sometimes some of the stories are like too... Come on,
I did have a feeling, though, eventually it would happen, but I really, like I said, it took me, as it shocked everybody else, it shocked me as well.
Mm-hmm. The one that got me, stay with me forever, was when Barry Windham turned on Lex Luger at Clash of the Champions 1. Didn't see that coming. There was no indication. And he turned on him, and he looks over to JJ, and JJ gives him a thumbs up, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, that was another one.
Triple H.
Triple H. What was the other one? There was another one that is from. What about when Ric Flair, Triple H, and Batista turned against Randy Orton?
Oh yeah.
The whole.
Yeah, the thumbs down. They hit him on the shoulders, that raised him up, and they took him out. Yeah.
That was another one that got me.
Yeah. Well, what about Seth Rollins turning on the Shield? Didn't see that
Yes.
coming at all.
Nope.
Those are the
Nope.
best. When you don't have any indication it's coming. That's the best. When heel turns come out of nowhere.
The only thing I don't like about today is you know when it's going to happen. You could see it's being set up,
Yeah.
but they're trying not to be so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But you know it's going to happen.
Yeah. I hate it when they make it too obvious. It's like you know what's coming. I hate that. Give me a little-
Like when Otis turned on Tucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know they were going to make him the star.
Mm-hmm.
Just like now, they're talking about taking Dawkins out,
Yeah. I heard that too. I mean,
and I think if they do it, he's done.
yeah. Yeah. Because without his partner, I mean, the guy's good, but he's not great. I think his partner could be by himself great.
I mean, I think they're great as a tag team. Why separate them? And I mean, I guess it's the personality of the one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. What about when the Road Warriors turned on Dusty?
I honestly didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Me neither. Yeah. ECW turning on the NWA. Yeah. When he took the belt, threw it down. Yeah. That.
What about when Medusa dropped the women's championship in the trash can on Nitro?
That was pretty shocking too. I mean, just out of nowhere, she comes up with it and dumps it in the garbage, and it was like, did she just do that?
I mean,
I was like, oh, Vince is screaming at his TV, just all calling her all kinds of names.
Vince was like, "Get Paul on the line,"
Yeah.
or "Get Russo, get Russo on the line."
I'm sure he had Bucky calling,
Oh yeah, probably.
his right hand man.
But yeah, another face turn. Let's see if I can remember.
The greatest face turn of all time for me when Nikita turned face after Magnum TA's accident. That just meant a lot to me because everybody was feeling the pain of what happened to Magnum, and I turned it on one Saturday morning, and all of a sudden Nikita's following Dusty, and I'm thinking, oh, he's going to attack him, but then he gets and he stands at that ring and watches for the fighting, and he gets in there, and I think he went after JJ and Ole, and just whoa.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Nothing like that. That was one of the greatest face turns I've ever seen. Because it was unexpected. Those are the best. When they don't play like Return and just have to nurse along the story that we know what's coming in that, it's great when we have no idea.
Yeah, I like the unexpected heel turns, and I also like the unexpected coming ins. Like, don't announce that they're coming in. Have the surprise moment at a pay-per-view where somebody just comes out of the blue.
Exactly. I mean, it's like Tony Khan always saying, he's got a big announcement. It's like, okay, what's it going to be? What WWE, ex-WWE person is coming?
The lights have to go out first. Remember that.
And when the lights, just have them appear, like you said. Have them appear. That is the best. That's what we love.
Try and keep it a little bit kayfabe. I know the internet's the new, the internet thing is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like the old days when the only way we could get advice, new wrestling news years ago was from the magazine. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But now, you just matter of a few clicks to get wrestling news that you usually have to wait months for in the wrestling.
Facebook user, please click on the StreamYard link so we can be able to see your name and give you props for your comment.
I didn't see it. What was his comment? I didn't see it.
He just said, "Hey."
Oh, hey, Facebook.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah. If you go on YouTube, we'll see who you are, and we don't have to ask.
But yeah, I mean, back in the day, I had two favorite pay-per-views I liked. One was the War Games, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the Starrcade 86, the Skywalker match.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my all-time favorite matches from back then.
Yeah.
And like you said, for the Road Warriors to turn on Dusty, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was younger. I was, not a kid, but teenager or whatever, but it kind of hurt a little bit. You know, you like Dusty and you love the Road Warriors and you thought everything was fine, and they go do that. And,
Well, Dusty was like that father figure.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though watching him through the TV, he was kind of like your dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you could always trust him, and you know, you always felt like he wanted the best, and when he was wronged, you were wrong.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, you got any new belts coming?
No, I don't. I'm on a little bit of I'm on pause for a while. I just can't think what I would like to get next, to be honest.
Yeah, I have one on the way. I didn't have time to put together a belt of the week. Like I said, I'm new to this, so I do have my belt physically with me, one of them, and I just received it.
Oh.
And it happens to be one of my favorites now.
Okay.
I
Oh,
have
look
one.
at that. Wow.
This is a Stampede belt.
Which
and
looks
I will-
exactly like the Owen Hart belt. You can tell that's what they copied that off of.
And I would butcher the maker's name if you could help me.
Okay.
Was it Jenga Jang?
I think it's Yagu Yan.
Yahoo Yarn.
Yagu or Yagu Yan. I don't know the first name, but I know the last name's Yan. So.
Well, I know Jermaine and Big Ben helped me out to get that one, and I also have the CWA that is it's in production right now.
Yeah, that belt for the longest time, I didn't like it, and then I saw yours being made, and a few other people have gotten made, and it looks so nice and clean. I'm not so rough on that anymore.
I love the classic look to it. I don't know what it is, and
Mhm.
you know, I also try to go back and on YouTube and I look up the people who've held the belt and stuff like that.
Mhm.
My history from way back, you know, when I was little, I don't remember some of these names. I remember seeing some of them, but by name I couldn't tell you.
Mhm. It's fun to go back and look up history. That's one thing about my favorite belt, the IWGP version 4. All the champions are listed on the side plates. I mean, it's great.
That's what I like about the Stampede belt.
Yeah. When they have rich in history, gorgeous belt, rich in history.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what I got for one of the presents I got for Father's Day? A certain NWA lunchbox,
Ooh.
like somebody else got.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to have it so I can show it to Nora's little girl. She likes seeing the.
So I have nearby stuff. I'm going to do something for my number one fan that keeps on watching the show religiously. Let's see. I actually got something right nearby. I can grab it.
Okay.
This is actually part of my man cave. I got the Roman Reigns.
Is that a blow up?
Yes, acknowledge me.
Roman's my favorite wrestler. I'll admit it. Everyone wants to take shots at me.
I mean,
I liked him years ago, and then when he had leukemia, it touched me. And then when he came back, I mean,
well, because you seen Joe the person.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't see Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I did like Roman Reigns, and I'm not gonna lie, I like him even more now that he's a heel.
He's better as a heel. And, I had a lot of people always saying to me, oh, I'm tired of Roman. Vince is jamming Roman down our throats. It's like, whatever, But I always liked the guy, and now I love what they're doing with him. And by the way, did you see where they're possibly talking about the Usos' younger brother joining the Bloodline?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. They wanted him to pass NXT and come up to the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
And him himself said, I'm not ready for that right now.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll be fine because he looks really good in NXT.
He wanted to make his own path and make a name for himself before they did that, because he didn't want it done because of his family. He wanted it done because of him.
When he's ready, he wants to be in there when he's ready. That's all he wants.
And he's ready.
Big time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, several of them have told him, that he's ready to move up.
And I thought sure that Naomi was going to be joining because, she's married to Jimmy. But then I saw today that her and
Sasha
were moved off of the the website, but they've done that before. So
They've done it before.
You can't lock it into this. I'm sure that's part of the bit. It's
They could be bringing the original bloodline in, the Samoan dynasty.
anything's possible. Anything's possible. I mean,
I thought for sure they would bring Samoa Joe in NXT and say he was one of the Usos.
well, I mean, I don't think they could pull it over. There's so many smart people, smart fans that know he's not a member of the. Am I pronouncing it right? The Anoa'i or Anoa'i family.
Annoying family. I tell you what, though. I don't know about you. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Yokozuna shocked me. I didn't know he was part of the family.
Yeah.
I'm like, Samoan, Japanese. It was like,
for as big, and Yokozuna, for as big as he was, then he could move like nobody of the man of that size could move like him. He was
definitely.
amazing. Yeah,
Definitely.
I miss him. I like watching him.
Definitely. Yeah, like I said, War Games, I believe, was the first cage match that I've actually seen where there was actually blood. It was my first time seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched Blood and Guts the other night from AEW.
That was good.
Does everybody have to bleed within 5 minutes of entering the cage?
It seems like it. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think there was one person that night that left without bleeding.
For me, the blood doesn't make it more intense for me. I'd rather them just beat the heck out of each other. I mean, I don't think blood's needed, but
And I didn't expect Sammy to go off the cage. I thought it was going to be Jericho.
Yeah, that was a good show. I mean, Tony Khan, as much as quirky stuff he does, he puts on a good show every week, and his pay-per-views are always good too. So you got to give him credit. I mean, he takes a lot of garbage from people, but he does put on a great show.
I mean, you're talking about regular TV shows. He's putting on pay-per-view matches.
He's putting on pay-per-views, yeah.
You know
Who else does? Nobody else does. Vince doesn't do that.
But I don't think they should have more than one pay-per-view every couple months.
It's the every month thing. It's just so. Yeah.
I like the build-up between the pay-per-views.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have enough time for build-up. You just got your monthly a few weeks to build the story, then there we go. And it's like, I remember the days of the NWA, they would do it like, maybe every couple or, it was never monthly. Never, ever was it monthly.
It was every couple months?
Yeah, at the soonest, every couple months, yeah. Because they knew how to build the stories.
Well, you had, Saturday morning, you had Saturday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And they would build it up on the regular show. They would get in each other's face in the interviews and stuff like that.
Because Saturday night on 605 on TBS, that was their Raw or that was their SmackDown. And it was just in a studio and a ring with a few people around, and it was so much fun to watch.
I think it needs to go back to the basics, especially WWE.
Well, the NWA, they seem to be doing that with what they're doing now. They're still the COVID really screwed up the NWA. They shut down the whole time when everybody else was moving on, but thank God they got going again. I think Billy Corgan knows what everybody wants. Just a matter of him being able to putting on a good show and good following.
Produce it. I mean, he seems to be getting good guys over there. I mean, I don't follow it as well as I did in the beginning because I kind of there's so much to choose from these days. It's so good to be a wrestling fan. If you don't like this one, you go to the next one. That one, yeah.
It reminds me, when I first was getting into it, you could you had NWA, and then you had AWA on ESPN, and then you had the WWE everywhere. They're syndicated everywhere. And, you could always find something on cable. It was great. I used to set my VCR for all the stuff that I could, and there was stuff that, it's nice to have a choice right now.
Yeah, I love now that you could look everything up on YouTube. If you can't find it on Peacock or there's wrestling apps. If you have a Fire Stick, there's wrestling apps you can download. Some of them you have to have a service, but most of the majority of the stuff you can find on YouTube. And if you can't find it on YouTube, you can find it on the applications.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it's just I think it's exciting to be a wrestling fan and just have that much material that you could watch. I mean, New Japan, you have Impact Wrestling,
Yeah.
you have Women of Wrestling, you have Shine, you have the indie wrestling, and there's so much to choose from.
Yeah, and I'm glad the NWA has it back so we can watch it for free. I mean, they did that for a while where you had to pay to watch. It's like, no, I'm not going to pay to watch it.
I think their viewership dropped, and that's why they did that.
It did.
But
Yeah.
AEW also has a streaming service. And
Well, I wouldn't doubt that they eventually get. I had heard that possibly they might be hooking up with HBO Max.
that's what I heard. Yep.
So we'll see. I mean,
Hey, I love that because I get
I would-
HBO Max part of my service.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I also heard that when they film Rampage in certain countries,
Mhm.
it airs for free
Mm.
while it's live.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
can
like,
that.
I don't know if it was a mistake or what.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, like everything else, you know. But like you said, though, at least we have, we can find whatever we want on the internet, on YouTube, and it's always available. And if you can't pay for the AEW pay-per-views, it's on. The whole thing's on YouTube the next day. It seems like.
Yep. There's always somebody either streaming it or airing it, one or the other.
Yeah.
Not
too hard to find.
I mean, like I said, all the classic stuff, whatever you can't find on Peacock, you would always find on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, they even have to the point where somebody transferred from video to the YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see
Richard, let me ask you a question. You have Peacock, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you watch their pay-per-views, does it ever drag a little bit? The video?
I notice when the views go up, when they had it where people were able to stream for free,
Yeah.
like a month free,
Uh-huh.
and everybody wants to watch that one match, you'll see your service go.
Yeah, mine drags. It's not the crystal. Just once in a while we get the crystal clear picture that we used to, but it drags otherwise. And it's like there's nothing I could. I tried. I deleted it and then reloaded the network, thinking that didn't do anything. I got high speed on my internet. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's when I notice it though. I notice it more when the free streamers are getting on, and they're watching it for free. You can see it starts to lag.
The rest of us paying for it have to suffer.
I mean, when they had the WWE Network, and you could tell
I
the
never
people...
had a problem on that. I always got the crystal clear picture of WWE. Once they moved over to Peacock, my pay-per-views are just dragging.
And the only thing I don't like about Peacock is I don't think you can rewind it like you could with the network.
You can, but you gotta go and then push up on the little button, and then you gotta pick left or right, left for back, and then right, and just it's not really user friendly like it was when it was the network.
But I hopefully they'll update the library and add more of the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just started watching the Mid-South stuff. I started watching more of the AWA because I've been watching NWA as well.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Saturday mornings is when I get up early in the morning and I start binge watching the old stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the new stuff is good, but the old stuff just does it for me even more,
Mm-hmm.
But Platinum says you can rewind or fast forward with the left or right keys. Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Man. Thank you very much.
I'm just so used to pushing the center button, left or right. Okay, thank you, Platinum Mike.
Thank you very much. Now I know. Sometimes I'll stay late at night, like on my night before I'm off. This week I happened to get a 3-day weekend, so it was good.
But Richard, remember those days on Saturday mornings when you get up and you know what channel WWE? They had two shows. One was a Wrestling Challenge. That was the secondary one. And then the first one was Wrestling. What was the main one called? WWE had like in the late '80s. On every Saturday.
I'm trying to think of it.
No, WWE Superstars. That was it. It was Superstars.
That was it. Yeah, it was the Superstars.
And man, I always would watch that. Usually it was on here in Cincinnati. It would be on like 10 a.m. on one of the local channels. And Challenge would be on like late at night, like 11:30 or midnight on one of the days.
Yeah, then I remember as I got older. I mean, I'm not really old. I'm only 47. I'll be 48 next year. Um, but I remember watching it, with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad actually turned me on to it with Superstar Billy Graham.
Okay.
And my dad used to do his entrance in the room. He'd walk into the room and, you play fight as a kid. And my dad was like a big part of my life, and he reminded me so much of, that's why I was a huge fan of Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dad's memorisms were in Hogan. And it just...
Hogan, I was a big fan of Hogan. And I mean, he brought everybody in, but I mean, I was a fan too. And I had a buddy that was a big Flair fan, and I always, he'd always tell me Flair could kick his butt. I heard it all. Like, Hogan's the champion. He could take him, and I look back on those days fondly. I had the Hulk Hogan poster where he had I think it was the Hogan '84, the silver belt with the red paint on it.
I had the workout kit with this cassette tape.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I remember that. And then as I got older, when it hit Monday Night Nitro,
mm-hmm.
My dad seen Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a real deep story and why I got into the belt hobby. My dad seen Goldberg come out, and my dad's like, this kid is good. He's going to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it now, he says. And my dad was into boxing. He watched boxing, and he would watch wrestling when I watched it because he got me into it. And then he would watch the MMA and stuff like that. But when he seen Goldberg, and he's like, yeah, this kid's going to be somebody, and I know he's going to go some places.
Yeah.
The first belt I had to get was the WCW Big Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it with the Goldberg nameplate on it from John and AJS.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one belt I can honestly tell you, if I had to get rid of my collection, it's one belt I couldn't do it.
Yeah. My first belt was I think the same one. It was the Big Gold, like 1 millimeter thin. And it was flat sheet, and I think it had Goldberg's nameplate came with it. As a matter of fact, I sent it to a guy who could bend it, curve it. He did a real nice job for it, but I sold it. But my second one I still have to this day. It's the WWF Big Eagle Bigs, and it's 2 millimeter, and I had it re-leathered. And that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that would be one of the belts I couldn't get rid of, and a lot of people don't know this on the page and on the group, but I used to do what's called promo wrestling. We do promos for actual titles, and I actually have in my possession from two of the groups the championships that I retired with me when I stopped promoing with them. I'm currently not working yet on anything in a group, but I am a member of a group, and we do it for fun. And you win the belt, whoever wins it, the belt gets sent to them, and it gets sent around.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's all about fun.
Yeah, if it's not fun, like I said, I've left a couple groups because it started not to be fun, and if it feels like work, it's not worth it.
Not worth it at all.
So those would be the championships I couldn't get rid of.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And then I have. I don't know if you met my daughter Andrea or not. She's one of my admins in my group. When she was like 2 years old, I got a cute picture of her holding that belt up over her shoulder. And that locks it in. No, that belt ain't going ever, anywhere, anytime.
Oh yeah, when it becomes personal and basically like another family member. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The memories that sit in that belt. I mean, it's directly across from me. Mm-hmm. I even got the Goldberg coin that came with it.
Yeah.
The pin, the Goldberg thing that I got.
Yeah.
And I started getting into the figure collecting with my son.
Mm-hmm.
My son is autistic. He's 21. And he's been with me since he's younger. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go figure hunting every once in a while. I kind of had to slow down because it's starting to look like the version of a Toys R Us.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I used to do 5 at a time, but now I got it down to 1 every so often.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a certain person, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like Andrea, that's one of the things she gave me for Father's Day. She gave me the Wardlow figure. and it's like, okay, do I open it or not? You know, and what I used to do is I would get one that I didn't open, and then I would go to what's
Ringside Collectibles.
there you go. I would go there, and they have a section where you get damaged, like the box did. And then I would open that one.
Yep.
You know.
I did that a couple times.
Yeah. So.
But I definitely like these new figures that are coming out of the older guys.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
the Magnum TA, the Kerry Von Erich, yeah, Stan Hansen, yeah. Do we know when they're going to be released?
I don't know, but I did see a Dynamite Kid that looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that too.
I want an original Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith when they were in the blue tights at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I want one. I want a set of those. I like the old school figures too.
Well, they have there was an LJN set of the British Bulldogs with. Now it was the same. It was like the Hulk Hogan belt, but the leather was painted brown, I think.
Yeah, they had the brown tag titles. I remember that. I had them. Like I said, I had every single LJN figure that was made.
Mm-hmm.
And when we moved from New York to Florida, they disappeared, I guess. I don't know what happened to them. There was a whole story behind it. And then when I moved down to Florida, I started collecting, figure after figure, I guess people would call them, they're kind of rough, the figures look rough looking.
Mm-hmm.
So I would collect them, and then I wind up, as I got older, falling out of it and wind up selling them, and I regret it.
Yeah.
I started getting little by little. I mean, I got a whole huge Rubbermaid bin of loose figures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I have no room for them.
Yeah, I know, believe me. Yeah. Yeah, the LJNs, those are great, but the only problem is that the paint came off of them real easily.
Yep.
But I have seen some people go back and repaint them. They look just like brand new. It's just, I don't know if I'd be good enough to do it.
I'll make you laugh. As kids, me and my cousin Phil, we lived in an apartment building, so it was like 3 stories or 4 stories high. And we used to play in the hallway on the bottom floor. So we're wrestling with King Kong Bundy and Hulk Hogan. And I'm like, I look at him, I said, it'd be cool if we laid Hogan down in the ring and dropped Bundy on him. My cousin goes, okay. I said, let me go upstairs. So do I go a floor above? No, I go 4 floors above.
All the way up.
And I drop him. And I kid you not, when it hit Hogan, the ring cracked.
Oh, I bet it did. Yeah, I used to have the Bundy. That was not a heavy action. I mean, that was a heavy action figure. Yeah.
I think that was the heaviest LJN next to Andre.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And I have both of them. I got the one with the hair, or short hair, Andre, with the blue trunks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I've had all of them, and I started collecting when the Masters of the Universe versions of WWE figures came out. I started collecting them. Then every week they were releasing new ones, and I'm like, I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, the AEW figures were never, like, you go to Walmart, empty. And now you're just seeing them be somewhat available. That's the weekend that I got my the second Darby figure, and I got Sting. I could not believe there they were. Wow, they must have just come in. They had a whole bunch.
Well, you know what it is. The flippers and the scalpers come out. They come out early. Like
the toy department managers, they know what to do with the
It's like I went out looking for AEW cards when they first came out. I couldn't find them anywhere. Mm-hmm. I went into a store. I found 3 boxes. I says, you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna pick up all 3. If there's one thing I have when I go figure hunting with my son. If I pick up, like when I picked up in a group of figures, if I seen a kid and his father looking at figures, and they're like, oh, that one's not up there, I would take it and say, you know what? You take it. Yeah. Even though I'm only taking one of the figure, that kid wanted it. Even if I had 5 of them and the kid wanted it, I would hand them over.
Yeah, because there's no other way that he'd be able to get it.
Yeah, it's just the way I am, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, looking out for kids, and yeah, that's great. I would do the same thing, you know?
And the store where I go, the guys there know that I'm not I'm not a scalper, I'm not a flipper. I just go in for one figure of each if I like them, depending on the figure.
Yeah. And I've seen lately a lot of people saying that some of the chase figures are a little bit easier to get. Like the one girl, I can't remember her name. She's in the Brody Lee's group.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And somebody was able to get that. They said it was right there. There was two of them, and they were able to pick one. They didn't think I bought both. I'm gonna go to eBay. No, they said I was so happy to get it. And Anna J. That's what it was. Anna J.
Yeah, I went to Walmart one day with the wife, and she knows right away where I go. So she's like, "Let's go." Yeah. She won't say toy section. She'll say, "Let's go by the figure section to see what they have." So she's looking up on the peg, and she's like, "Babe, they got the Dark Order." So she looks. She goes, "Let me see what they have."
Yeah.
She's like, they got all of them. I said, I don't know if I want all of them right now. She's like, if you don't grab them now, you're not gonna get them.
Yeah, it's a sad thing.
So I'm like, okay.
Because they're selling them, and people are going to the department managers and making deals. I mean, they said we're for the first, the Unrivaled series, first Unrivaled series. You couldn't find Cody or Kenny, any of them in the store. There's no way.
That's why I turned to ringside, and you know what I mean. You didn't get them right away, but you had them. You know what I mean. You didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And I had to cool down with that because I was ordering them the full thing at a time.
Yeah.
I got one chase out of the 6. Yeah, the 6 sets that I had.
Oh, so you got a chase and you didn't know it was coming?
No, I didn't.
Oh, who was it?
I got a Moxley. Let me see if I can pull it down.
A Moxley chase?
Yep. Let me see if I can pull it down from my shelf here.
Okay. Oh wow! Heck, that'd be sweet. You just you were just ordering the other one, and they sent you the. I just ordered the set that it came in, and when I was going through the box, I noticed the red, and I'm like, "No way!" What is that? You probably first. Wait a minute, I got the wrong figure here.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, this is not the right one. And then I look at the sticker, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I noticed the other ones, the numbers or something is in red. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means that's a different kind of figure or what it is. I know it has to have the sticker on it to be the chase.
Yeah.
But I noticed that's different too.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I didn't know you got that. That's great.
Yeah, that was like, I was just blown away. My wife's like, it's just a figure. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This figure right here, people are going crazy for the figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big time.
All right, so let me see something else to talk about. Bobby Lashley's United States win.
You a Bobby Lashley fan?
I actually like Bobby Lashley. Don't get me wrong. Too much is not good enough. Not good, but I'm glad they got him away from MVP.
Yeah, but the only thing is that the Hurt Business was such a neat faction, and I think they killed it way too soon.
Exactly.
I mean, they were selling the T-shirts, the people were behind them. And
that's another thing. The idea is there, and then poof.
Yeah. I don't know why Vince pulls the plug. I don't know if that's Vince or creating. What Vince has the final word, but whoever did it, I just couldn't understand why it was so popular, and they just killed it.
Yep. What about Theory's Money in the Bank win, or entrance into the Money in the Bank?
Well, let's be honest. When I saw that he was added out of nowhere, you knew he was going to win.
Well, when he lost, I knew he was going to be in it.
Yeah.
I told my wife, she watches with me. I'm like, watch. Theory's going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
She's like, why don't you write for WWE? Yeah, I liked him when he had the ECW title too.
He had a good run in Impact too. So.
Yeah, I thought it was actually a decent pay-per-view for once.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
I mean, they've been having hit and misses, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I really thought there was when we're going to see the beginning of trouble for Street Profits. I thought they might have showed a sign there. I was really expecting it.
Yeah, they've been pushing it, but it's been quiet. Like I said, I've heard them. There's talks of it going on, and when you hear it out there, you know it's going to happen. And I honestly feel bad for Dawkins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's not the best in the ring.
But he's not the
good.
worst.
Yeah, he's not the worst. He's good on the mic. But as a single competitor, I don't see it lasting long term.
Unfortunately, what would happen if they do that is it's going to be the same thing that happened to Otis's former partner.
Now, if you turn Dawkins heel,
then at least he could have a run
and keep the other guy face.
Yeah, but
that'd be the only way.
But Otis, they kept face and they turned his former partner heel, and then it just went downhill from it. But if the guy can do it, I think Dawkins has more talent than that other guy. I can't remember. Was it Travis? Was that his former partner, Otis?
I think it was Travis or something like that.
I can't remember, but
Tucker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he turned heel and just went. Then creative wasn't really supporting him with storyline either. So.
I mean, like this. What do you think about this new vignette that they dropped?
Oh, that's Edge.
I think it's the Brood version of Edge.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's what the candles that signified. That's the Brood. I mean, everything else was all Edge's opponents, and I think they're going to come back mean as mean as can be, and just and this is the Brood Edge.
Because Edge wouldn't be satanic. That's why they had to get him out of Judgment Day. He wouldn't be satanic.
But then, okay, let me ask you: do you think he's going to get a new face faction, Brood or whatever?
I think so, but I do see something coming, and I see another turn coming.
What's that?
It might not be right away.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Mysterio. I'm calling it right now.
Oh yeah, I've said for months that
is going to join Judgment Day.
The perfect thing for those two is for Dominic to turn on his dad.
Yep.
And then that could build him as a good heel. And then when, a month or a year down the line when they turn him face again, he'll have some kind of a respect and following. He doesn't really have a whole lot of respect in the ring.
Either that or they can either do Ray and make him lose the mask and do the contacts and turn against Dominic.
Mm-hmm. But I think that they almost have to at this point have, Dominic turn on his dad. It's a storyline that everybody would be, interested in.
What do you think about the Liv Morgan win?
I'm happy for her. I mean, she's been in there for years. Never had a belt. She's a person that's done everything that they've asked her to do, and she looks good in the ring. She knows what she's doing. I
think she's put in the work, like Ronda said. Ronda said she wants somebody that busts their butt and does everything they're doing,
mm-hmm.
and whether they lose or they win, they still come back for more. And I forgot exactly what she whispered into her ears, but I know it was something like, "You deserve it. You've been working. I couldn't have lost to a better person."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been there for years. She's done everything. When she was part of the Riot Squad. And she's done a great job as a heel and as a face. So,
but I think Ronda's done.
Yeah, I think she's done. Ronda's she's got a little baby girl, and she obviously will spend more time with her baby. And she can come back whenever she wants to.
And I'm starting to see little changes happening in NXT. I just got done watching the Bash.
Mm-hmm.
And I see little tidbits of stuff happening because the creative control, Vince still has his hands in it, but I can see there's changes happening. Hopefully it's going to be for the best.
Do you sense a little bit of Triple H in there? Yeah. That would be the best because he made it what it was.
Yeah, and it's they dropped the ball with the kid that looked like Brock Lesnar by shaving his head.
Parker Boudreaux.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's in MLW, and
he's doing pretty good.
He's not the best in the ring yet, but remember, he's still young.
He's very young. He's like in his early 20s.
Yeah.
What did you think of on AEW when they Inner Circle, or no, whatever they're called, the Jericho Appreciation Society, when they told what's her name to put Ruby Soho by the car, and they slammed the door on her arm.
Well, I was watching it, and she actually put her hand in it, and then she put it in again, and then she went to put it in to move it, and she actually hit her hand.
Yeah.
The door actually hit her hand. I don't know if it hit her arm or what, but she actually got caught in that, and I don't think that was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the storyline's going to be now that she's got a broken arm. I mean, next week she's probably going to have a cast on. But, we'll see.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, they acted like it was live, but that was filmed a week ago because Jericho is over in Europe right now with Fozzy.
Yeah.
So
that was like down here when they filmed Rampage. They filmed Dark Evolution, Dark Evolution, Dynamite, and then Rampage, all in the same night.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute. And then they try and trick you if you watch the TV screen. Sometimes, the little live thing in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it disappear certain times, and then you'll see it pop back up.
Yeah.
And they kind of drop pre-recorded stuff in there.
Did you notice that when they were at Raw this week, they brought back having the commercials, the live in the commercials?
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like, boy, that's kind of familiar. So.
Yeah, Liv reached the destination earlier than Ruby. Yeah, I hope Ruby gets her moment too. I really do.
She's another one that's earned it. I mean, she's been there. She's great in the ring.
I can see her as maybe not the women's champion, but as the TBS champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Britt Baker, she's the women's champion material.
Mm-hmm.
She's got it. You know what I mean? Ruby's got it too. When I seen her over in AEW when she made her debut, I thought it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then being down in Fort Lauderdale when AEW came down for Dynamite, when Malachi Black came out, I lost it.
Yeah. I like what.
Yeah. And when I walked at the end of the night, it was like, I think it was midnight. Me and my buddy walk out. We had met Jake Hager in the lobby area. We walk out, and there's Malachi, Malachi Black catching, I guess, an Uber or a cab or whatever it was. And I just spotted him at the corner of my eye, and I walk over to him, and I said, hey, you mind if I get a picture? And he's like, sure, why not? So he took a picture with my friend, and then I said, thank you very much, and I wish you all the best over here, and I hope they treat you right, you know what I mean, because you're a good wrestler, and I could see, I've been watching you for a while, and I said, have a good night, be safe, be well, and I walked away, and I felt bad because here comes this big crowd, and they started to rush him.
I've heard he's great with fans.
Yeah, and so is Jake Hager, man. Jake Hager was awesome. I mean, just to meet him, and I kid you not, I'm 5'9". The dude is towering over me.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But,
of course, you see Wardlow. He's huge.
Oh yeah, I've seen him, and then I seen FTR. I actually, I recall telling you guys that me and my buddy, just the recent one that was down here a couple months back, we're sitting in the lobby. Remind you, we already bought seats. They were up higher.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes Dan Lambert walking past, and I'm like, hey, Dan, how you doing, man? And we're decked out in our AEW gear. I got the hat on and everything. He goes, hey, do you guys know where the entrance is? I'm like, well, it's over there. And he goes to walk away, and he comes back. He goes, hey, do you guys have tickets? Because I have some extra front row tickets if you want them. I looked at my buddy, and he looked at me. I'm like, sure.
Oh, heck yeah.
He goes, here you go. I mean, we were on front row for all the shows that were on. It was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of Wardlow winning the TNT last night?
He deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you, MJF is coming back.
You think so?
This is the way to bring him back.
The only thing I would have done different last night is I didn't like him pinning the guy with standing on his chest. I would just had him pin it, you know.
That was a cocky pin, and they should have never did that.
They should have done that with Wardlow because they weren't trying to build him as this ultimate face, and that's not a face thing to do.
Well, I want to know if what's his name is injured. I think he's injured. I think that's why they did it that way.
Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that he might be too, so it very well. But yeah, because I wanted to see, I wanted it to build longer. You knew that Wardlow was going to be champion, but I wanted it to build. It's just too soon, you know.
Yeah, but I have a feeling, like I said, if MJF doesn't get involved, I could see Wardlow and Mero get it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know with MJF. I don't know if this is where Tony Khan's trying to get us. Oh well, he must not want to be there because he's not there. But Tony Khan, he's very much like, well, hey, let's build this as a story. I know you're pissed or whatever, but take a month or two off and see how you feel then, and then we'll everything's okay.
I think Warner Brothers had something to do with that, and I think that's why they cooled it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see. I know he's under contract for 2 more years. I think beginning of 2024, I think, as soon as he's done. But Tony Khan's not going to let him walk. There's no way.
Oh, and then the Dark Order said last night,
they're not going anywhere.
The 6 of us are here, and we're not going anywhere.
And I was glad to see that because you didn't know if there was a lot of shaky stuff going on, and then you didn't know what was going on. Now I heard they were not going to sign Colt Cabana, who's a member of that, but they did re-sign him. So let's just go and and then Cowboy, what's his name? Oh, what's his?
I was going to say Adam Page.
I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with names. Yeah, he was there too, so I want to see him be not the new leader because that was that's not him, but just have a good storyline with him in part of that.
Yeah, everybody keeps referring to them with Bray Wyatt.
Don't you think?
The Wyndham 6.
Yeah, and you hear stories that and everybody's saying, "Oh, he was going to come back during Money in the Bank," and it's like, who knows where he's going to appear?
I'm going to be honest with you. The only way to bring him back, whether it's WWE or AEW, for WWE, you bring him back at WrestleMania.
That'd be the most.
Or you bring him into AEW at Double or Nothing, which is their WrestleMania.
Yeah, their big pay-per-view. Yeah, I mean, but he's really dragging it out. I mean, I don't know what he's. Think about money, but your stories wants to do stuff in movies and that. It's like Bray Wyatt's a good character, but I don't think he's big enough to be in movies yet. At least not yet.
But he's also signing Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if
he does not own that name.
Yeah. I mean, he changed it on his Twitter account and everything.
Yeah, what he changed it? Yeah, he changed it to the Wyatt 6.
Yeah.
And then all people were piecing together, oh, well, he'll be number 6. He's coming to AEW. That's a sure sign. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. There's no way he's going to come with the name Wyatt, at least I think not, to AEW. I mean, who knows?
I just hope they bring him back when it's worth bringing him back, regardless what federation he goes to.
Yeah. Let's just hope it's a surprise. There's no build-up that they give it away. Shock us. That's what we want.
Okay. I'm going to take this moment to ask our viewers if they have a specific match they like, one of their all-time favorite matches, and also who was one of your childhood heroes growing up.
There you go. One of my all-time favorite matches. Oh, comes to mind right away. Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard. I Quit match. Starrcade, was that Starrcade 84, I believe? I think it was Starrcade 84.
I think so.
Oh, great match. And Tully never said, I quit. They just said, do you give up? And he just nodded his head, but he never did say, I quit.
Yep, that was like Bret Hart and Austin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, Gianni. What's up, Gianni?
Gianni Martello in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, we got Platinum's got Rumble with Flair won the title.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Great, great, great match. Mine, I would have to say. I mean, everybody will say Hogan and Andre.
That wouldn't. I mean, it was a good match, but it wasn't like one of the all-time greats for me.
Or they would say Warrior and Hogan. I'm gonna say Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat.
Yes, I remember watching it on pay-per-view, and I just couldn't turn away. It was just so good. Yeah, that's one of the best matches I've ever seen ever. Yeah, right there. That was great.
And then I remember faintly I believe it was Kurt Angle and Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
They had a what was a Iron Man match, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That was another good one. And then when Malenko and Benoit had the match, that was a good one.
What about all of the great Dusty and Flair matches?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they would go an hour, no problem. You don't see that.
And then Dusty being the big guy he was, he moved and grooved with the best of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing would hold Dusty back. Size didn't matter. He'd get that old bionic elbow, and Dusty was the man.
Oh yeah, he'd have blood pouring out of his skull and still going at it, be in his crimson mask and everything.
Oh, and Flair, he'd have a face full of blood, and he'd be in there fighting. Yeah.
He come out with blonde hair and leave with pink hair.
Yeah.
I love the Flair fall when they would knock it and he would fall. Boom.
Yeah, he just plop on the mat. Yeah. Yeah.
Or when they threw him to the rope and they flip. One time he almost went over the turnbuckle, the top turnbuckle.
Yeah. The Flair flip.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. I'll never forget, a few times I was lucky at the Cincinnati Gardens to get front row seat for me and my girlfriend, now my wife. And there was nothing like seeing Flair come out. He'd open that rope and he'd see Big Gold was just a few feet away from me. Like, oh, seeing Big Gold in person was excellent. But seeing the Horseman, but great wrestling.
I mean, the entrances alone, Ric Flair, I could name The Undertaker, Macho Man. You had, what's his name? Oh, man. What's his name?
NWA or WWF?
NWA. The Midnight Express.
Oh, yes.
When they came out. You know what I mean?
The best entrance, the crowd would go crazy, was when the Road Warriors come out. Oh,
to Iron Man. When they came out with Iron Man, oh, man.
The place would just go crazy. You'd hear that music start and everybody jumping up and down. It was.
And I remember in the WCW era, Monday Night Nitro era, when they played Metallica Seek and Destroy for Sting, and you heard the opening riff, I went bananas when I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta get that on CD.
Yeah. But I mean, but the Freebirds. They were the first ones to come with music with.
That's what I was gonna say. The Freebirds, their own original music. Michael PSAs.
Yeah, they deserve all the credit. They were the first ones to do that.
And then who was the other one? It was I don't think there was anybody else that did original. I think Shawn Michaels did his too.
Well, yeah, what started out originally. Did he do that? I don't remember. Oh yeah, he did the first one, and then Sensational Sherry sang the second one, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he did the man part, and she did the woman part in the background.
Boy, Shawn Michaels was such a great wrestler. I mean, that guy could do everything. He found the show.
That was the showman of all shows.
Mr. WrestleMania.
There you go.
Seriously.
I mean, we're doing pretty good. I mean, I think we're winging it and we're getting it done good.
We're the best wingers there are.
Again, I would like to thank Mark Maggard for having me, allowing me to do this. Like I said, it's my first time actually doing the broadcast, and I'm glad he gave me the responsibility. There was a little bit of nerves, but I got over it. Andy got me out of it, and
you're doing great, Richard.
I mean, I like to talk about random, we don't all the time have everything written down as a script. We try to do things with off the fly and natural as possible.
Yeah, it just pops in your head and you just go for it and talk about it.
Here, another one bites the dust.
Yep. Yeah, JYD, another great wrestler we lost too soon.
Oh yeah.
I love Junkyard Dog. I remember WrestleMania 1 when he did not win against Greg Valentine. I was so mad. I was like, oh, I hated Valentine, but I loved JYD.
I'm gonna tell you, Greg Valentine. I hated the Honky Tonk Man and him together gimmick where they made him dye his hair black.
Yeah, Greg Valentine with black hair. Yeah, that. By the way, that is one action figure. Him with the black hair is very rare. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to get.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that too much. But when him and Beefcake got together, I liked it.
Beefcake in the early days, when he with the what did they call their tag team? Him and Valentine. What they had a nickname for their, what was it?
Oh, I don't know.
Something like the Greatest or
I think it was. Good evening, Jason.
Hey, Jason. I can't remember, but yeah, Valentine and Beefcake were great together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Norm. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't think of their name, their tag team name. You know it's on the tip of your tongue and you can't say it?
Yeah.
Jason goes, no, Jay, I think the show's good with Mark on it.
I'm sure somebody will let us know what they're called. Yeah, I can't remember what. Beefcake and Valentine, what were they called? The Greatest Tag Team or... Oh, ABA.
What's up, guys? Oh, here we go. I'm trying to keep up with the comments as well, guys.
Yeah, the dog collar match, that was great, Gianni.
Oh, that was an excellent one. That was an excellent one.
That was a classic. And then
I hate when you know something that's on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah. Well, the name of that tag team, I can't think what it is. I'm sure somebody watching knows. But
the Dream Team? They were the Dream Team.
The Dream Team, that's it, the Dream Team.
Okay, thanks, Platinum.
Yeah, thank you, Platinum. But,
I appreciate you, Drew.
Hey, Drew. But yeah, they were so much fun to watch. And then, the Bulldogs, when they were in their prime.
Oh, when their theme song hit, their entrance music hit,
mm-hmm.
And another one that got me going was the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, his music?
I remember doing like, not so much hardcore backyard wrestling, but like, we'd set up a Maple Leaf ring and I had, I believe it was, I'm going to try to think of I think it was White Snake or something like that. Or one of the hair bands, they had the song that was almost like it. So that was my entrance music. I'd come out running out with the tassels on, the face paint and everything, and we would wrestle for the cardboard belts.
You came out, let me guess, you came running out to Here I Go Again by White Snake?
No. I wasn't dancing on cars neither.
Come on, Richard, you can tell us.
She was better looking, and she still is.
Tawny Katane?
Yeah.
She passed away.
She was hot.
Yeah. That was.
I remember. Yeah, that was.
Oh. Her in Bachelor Party. You see Bachelor Party? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Great. One of Tom Hanks' classic movies.
All right, let's see. Wrestling movies. I know Mark brought up one. I couldn't think of the name of it. One of my favorites is. It had to be Body Slammed.
Body Slammed.
Roddy Piper was in it, and I believe one or both of the Powers of Pain were in it.
But wouldn't you agree that all of Hogan's movies sucked?
The only movie I liked from Hogan, to be honest with you, was No Holds Barred. It was a little corny, but it was one of his. It was right after Rocky, I believe. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but if I had to pick, that would be the best out of all of them.
Oh God, I couldn't stand it. I mean, it was just so bad. You know, they built it up so big every week on TV. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, but when we were younger, it was the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were very impressionable. So we just took it for granted. Oh, it's going to be a great movie. But I didn't see it till like a few years ago. Recently, all these years, it's like, oh my god, that's bad. Oh, you know,
Man on the Moon, yes, Gianni.
I heard that was good. I haven't seen it yet.
What's that smell? That's a line from the movie No Holds Barred, where he's holding the bad guy up.
Yeah.
What's that smell?
Smell of a bad movie, Gianni.
The smell of a bad movie. Speaking of wrestling movies, my brother hit me up, what was it, a couple of days ago. He goes, have you ever watched this Zombies and Wrestlers or Wrestlers and Zombies movie? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I believe Bret Hart is in it and Roddy Piper or one or the other. I'm like, I'm going to check it out. It might be corny, but I'm going to check it out.
Did you find out what he was talking about?
I looked it up to see if it was a thing, and it actually was. So I'm going to try and tomorrow morning and look.
I agree with Drew. All the Marbles, that was good.
That was another good one.
Oh.
That was the one that Mark brought up. Yeah, that was way, way before my time, but it was good.
Yeah, if you get a chance to watch it, go back and watch it. It's great.
I mean, like you said, you don't have many wrestlers that make it in the entertainment industry as far as movies go.
What did you think of the movie The Wrestler?
I liked it. I'm going to be honest with you. I liked it.
It was good. It was almost too realistic.
He portrayed the character really good. I liked it.
He did. I liked it too. Yeah.
I mean,
But it was very true to very true to life. What a wrestler's like.
well, you know what it is. Another thing that they have to do, and not a lot of people do that when they do movies. Yes. I think that's the movie.
Piper, great movie. They Live.
Yeah. Oh, hands down, a good
man.
movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, classic. It was fun to watch too. You never knew.
mean,
what
like I
was
said,
come up.
You had Terry Funk back in the day that was in the movies. He was in Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, and then Terry Funk was in the movie.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze.
Roadhouse was.
Evil guy. Yeah.
I mean, not many of them. I mean, you have your John Cena. Of course, he's good at comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
Well, how about when King Kong Bundy was on Married with Children?
that was funny when he was
They're
the uncle?
Bundy, that's where they got their name. Was from King Kong Bundy, the family, the writers, I believe, and then he's on there, and he played a mover.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny too. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just back in the day, it was so much more. I mean, now you have John Cena. I mean, what'd you think about him in the Marine?
I didn't see it.
And then that round, whatever it was, 12 rounds or whatever it was.
I didn't see it.
The Marine was actually okay.
Was it okay at least?
Yeah, it was all right. But
And
then the
was
Miz got a hold of it. And
Yeah,
went,
the Miz got a hold of it. Yeah.
And Randy Orton got a hold of it. You know what I mean? They overdid it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Jesse Body Ventura was in Demolition Man. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
There were some good ones out there. There was. I mean, there was a lot of duds, but there was a few good ones out there.
I mean, like The Rock in the Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
That movie went. "Rrrr."
I'm really enjoying his TV show, Young Rock, because they're going in everything about wrestling, and it's just so neat to see that they can openly, without being ashamed, telling it how it was.
The thing that got me with this show
Mhm.
is the writers of the show, and I'm sure his production team had something to do with it. The people that they picked to portray the characters are
They're
phenomenal.
They are
His mother was spot on. His grandmother, I didn't never seen his grandmother, but from what I heard, she was about the same as the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, King Kong Bundy was the Bundy's cousin? Okay.
Yeah.
It's been so many years since I saw it, But yeah, it's one of the weirdest I saw was the time that Hulk Hogan was on the Love Boat. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was so out of place. He was.
Let me see if I can get somebody else to come in here.
Okay. You never know who's going to show up, people.
Bear with me, people. This is new to me.
But
see if we can get somebody in here.
And then there's always wrestlers making their appearance on their Arsenio Hall show and the Tonight Show. And
oh yeah.
I mean, Arsenio didn't know how to quite handle when the Road Warrior came on. But when you're going,
yeah, he kind of marked out a little bit, especially
Yeah.
with Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior.
yeah. So, but those were a lot of fond memories, remembering when they were on, late night shows. And
When wrestling was good, you know what I mean? When it was really at its heyday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, you have so much of it today. I wouldn't say it's watered down because there's so much. It's just there's just so much to choose from today.
Mm-hmm. And it's
I
great
mean-
to have. Yeah, let's admit it. Vince over the years got lazy because he had no competition. Vince is good when he feels that he might get his butt kicked. But when there's no competition, there's no pressure on creative to put on good storylines. So he just makes his trips to the bank. He sees money's there. He's fine. He's not,
I would, like you said earlier, I would like to see more of the feuds being built up.
Yes.
A little longer than tomorrow that they're starting, and then the next day they're going at it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's they need to build the story more, and I think the fans would get more into it.
Yeah, late 80s NWA was the best at building storylines. They did it nice and slow, let it marinate a little bit. And by the time they got to their pay-per-view, it was great.
They definitely have to let the storyline marinate for a little bit. I think it'll make it better. And if they do this thing with the Street Profits, I hope they do it and let it marinate.
Yeah,
and
let
not
it do
just
it,
throw
do it right.
everything in.
And give them a chance to both guys. Obviously, Montez Ford, he's going to do great.
Oh
But-
yeah, he's got the big potential.
Charisma. He's got charisma, like.
Oh yeah.
And he's great in the ring.
Yep.
But the other guy, I just hope. What's his name?
Dawkins, Andre Dawkins.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Let's hope they do something good so they don't have him. You hear in 3 months, oh, he was relieved. I don't want to see that.
Facebook user, please click on the StreamYard link so we can see your name and give you credit for your comments.
Or turn us on YouTube, and then your
On
name will
YouTube.
appear. Mhm.
What about the 1970 movie The Wrestler, aka Vern Gagne's? Oh, I haven't seen that.
No, Ed Adler was it? No, I haven't seen that. Thank you, Drew. I'm going to check that out.
I'll have to pull that up somehow.
Oh, okay. It's called The Wrestler. Okay.
Good evening, Mark Liberti.
There's Mark.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
What's up, Dav?
I sent you the link, so if you want to jump on, it's just me and Andy. We're just
Come on,
winging
Kev.
it.
Come on, Kev. Okay, come on, Kev, join us.
Yeah, join us. We'd like to hear one of your favorite matches, your favorite wrestler of all times.
Kevin has one of the nicest belt collections I've ever seen. Gorgeous.
Oh, I know.
Gorgeous belts. And Kevin knows his stuff. You too, Platinum.
All right, Platinum, you have a good one, man.
Have a safe trip, brother.
You too. Thank you for all the information, man. It was really helpful. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
Mark Liberti.
Yeah, we only got one Mark update, so usually.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I'll send you the link, but remember this is a family-oriented show, please.
Keep it very cuddly, Mark.
Yeah, keep it cuddly. Not too cuddly, but keep it cuddly. Give me one moment while I pull them up. I don't even think he's on here.
A certain someone, I think who it is, might be joining us.
Oh, wait. Let's
Uh-oh.
see.
Uh-oh.
Let me go back.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, here he is.
Just make sure, I mean...
Oh. Where'd he
Sorry
go?
about that. There he is.
I mean, I was out of toilet paper, so I just used my hand real quick. Just make sure you get some toilet paper tomorrow.
That's not
Hey guys,
Gianni.
what's going on, fellas? What's
That's
going
not
on?
Gianni. Come on.
What's going on?
I'm gonna change my name to Jeff. So when I come on the screen, they can say it's Jeff. What's going on, man?
Come on,
I
Kev.
messed up. I was sitting there waiting for Mark to the link because I was going to come on tonight, and I was like, wait a minute, Mark didn't send nothing. And then I go into our chat, and I was like, oh, that's why he's praying. So I messed up everything. That was funny.
That's why I put it in the chat. You know, I added added the normal guys, and then I said let me put the link in the group chat, so make sure everybody gets
Yeah,
it.
for some reason it didn't come through on mine. That's what I was like. I didn't see the link in the chat.
Oh wow.
Well, we're glad you're here now, Kev.
Drew
Yeah.
says, "What's up, Dave?"
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Drew says, "What's up?"
Big Drew.
All right.
Big Drew.
I'll ask you the same question I asked Andy earlier. If you can name one favorite match of yours and your all-time favorite wrestler, who would that be, and what would the match be?
Can it be a tag team?
Could be a
Or-
tag team, any
Yeah.
match.
Well, I guess I could say, if it's not a tag team, my all-time favorite would be Arn Anderson as an individual wrestler. Even though I was a Rock and Roll Express fan, but my favorite match, even though it was a big Rock and Roll with Midnight, I loved when Rock and Roll won their first title against the Russians when they beat the Russians and they pinned them, and it was a 20, 24, 26-minute match, something like that. It was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Tag team wrestling was so great back then.
It was. Keyword being was.
Yeah, the Russians were made up to be, bad guys during that era. Both of them were just great Russians to be.
Mm-hmm.
One of them just to be, both of them actually be just country bumpkins.
I know, that kind of threw me off. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah, the greatest Russian wrestlers were not Russian at all.
Yeah, I was like,
Ivan.
what's going on here?
Ivan lives in the town here where I did before he passed away. I used to see him all the time in Walmart.
Yeah.
He would, after his wrestling days were over, he would sell a lot of his books and pictures and do autograph signings inside of the Walmart, the local
Wow.
Walmart.
That's
I'd
pretty
see
cool,
I'd see
man.
him all the time at the bank, and when I'd see him all the time at the bank, he would do it. He would do it even from the drive-through lane. He'd do, I don't get it. He'd do something Russian. It was just always awesome. He was a very kind.
Yeah, I heard he was one of the nicest people you ever meet.
Yeah, Ivan. Yep. And then he passed away, and then I met Nikita twice, and he's very, very nice and kind
Yeah.
too.
Very relaxed.
That's another one I want to meet. Like I said, when I first heard him talk in his accent, without the Russian accent, I was like,
Yeah. It's freaky when you hear him talking.
Because there was no kayfabe. I mean, it's just today it's all lost because of Twitter, and they're all wanting to be stars. But I mean, I think the only one I think keeping a great persona is what's his name, MJ.
MJF.
MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing what all the wrestlers should do.
Kayfabe.
He's got the '80s heat.
Yeah, Nick
Mhm.
Aldis, I think, does a great job of
Yep.
keeping it that way. He acts the way he does, and even when meeting him, and it's just a lost art. I think talking in general without having to be a script is a lost art.
Yeah.
Um,
The
I
last
wish
one that
the
did that was The Undertaker. He's the last one that stayed in kayfabe for years.
I think the only time Taker broke character was when he had the Make-A-Wish. He had a girl requested him, and he came out of character.
Yeah.
I think that was the only time he came out of character.
I'd like to see the big wrestling organizations go back to interviewing people like they're doing in the NWA out there where the ring is at.
At the
In
ring.
front
Yeah,
of
not in the
people.
back. Not in the
Exactly.
back.
Not in the back, not where it's
I
scripted,
hate
not something
that.
stupid, not where you're asking them questions. You just stand there. We're like Bob Cottle used to be. We're here with Arn Anderson, the NWA TV champ, and then
Yep.
he'd go into a spiel.
Yeah.
They did it on Saturday Night's Main Event too.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
You're right.
You know?
Yeah, ringside
yeah.
interviews are the best.
Yeah, not to get, I digress, but yeah, Rock and Roll Express, and then be a close second with any match they ever had with the Midnight Express.
Midnight
They were
Express,
just, it's just absolute classics. I think.
And I love how FTR comes to their music. I mean, they're big time contribute to Midnight.
Yeah, they would have been real good.
I think it's a remix version of the Midnight Express song.
It's the closest you can get to the Midnight Express theme with not being it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're enjoyable to watch.
I think they would have been very good in that time, in that era, in the late 80s. I would have think it would have. Everybody says, who is the gymnastics tag team that I can't stand?
The Young Bucks.
Yeah, that everybody says, oh, they would have been good. No, they wouldn't.
No,
they would have been. They would have been trashed, and I mean, they can't do anything without flipping or standing. It just looks so much scripted.
I have a friend that refers to them as the Dollar General version of the Hardys.
There you go. and the manager special, the yellow tag on it, that they're marked down. I mean, it's always got to be some stupid flip with three people standing there, and I guess that's what fans want today. But I want realism.
I do too.
I want a match that if you go back today, and I challenge anybody to watch an old '80s NWA or any other faction during that time, even the WWF, and watch that build up from the time that it starts all the way to the end. You can feel that excitement in you, even though you know it was planned.
Yeah.
Like I said, Steamboat and Savage.
Mm-hmm.
But today's wrestling, they want to do 2 or 3 flips and then stand in the ring and look at each other and wait for an applause. Like, yeah, that was cool. And it's so dang, it looks, you're standing there stopping, waiting for a chop, and it's so herky-jerky, and I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. I'm sick of the monthly pay-per-view. There used to be a couple of months of build-up. They would use it to build it up correctly, and not just have it once a month pay-per-view. I mean,
nobody's losing yet. The days are gone of losing a title at a house show or non-pay-per-view event.
Yeah, AEW, they started out doing it, spreading it out, and now it seems like they're doing it every 3 months or every 2 months.
The way it should be.
Give
the time the story to build.
What did you guys?
Who was you two's favorite?
My favorite match was Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
My favorite wrestler of all times. I'll get hate for it, but Hogan was my all-time favorite as a kid. One of my top favorite.
Yeah, there's all these people that I was a big Hulkamaniac growing up, and you had to be if Hulk Hogan was. Everybody loved Hogan. He was. Now you love the other ones, but you loved Hulk Hogan in that time. And don't tell me people that a lot of them nowadays. But no, I was, because it's fashionable now to hate on Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, Vince McMahon and Hogan, man. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and the waiting up. Not knowing that there was a Saturday night main event was on until you were watching some show, and then all of a sudden you see the advertisement. I'm like, oh, I got to stay up tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I believe back in the day, if I remember correctly, it was either was it right before Saturday Night Live or after?
It was in place of Saturday Night Live.
It would
come
come
on just after your local news. It would come on like 11:30.
Yep.
But
and I used to stay up
until you got a couple advertisements for it. So right around 9:30 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and it would be on for an hour and a half, just like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were great matches. They were.
The interviews too.
Yeah. They weren't just dinking and dunking people in there. They were, they were good matches. They were.
I got a laugh for you guys. What do you guys think of the gobbledygooker gimmick?
Why? That was Hector Guerrero in that outfit.
Was it? What about what was it? The Missing Link?
I liked him. World class. I liked him. He was funny.
Remember when they brought him over to WWE or WWF?
Yeah, he went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I thought was really stupid when it started, and then the second. Remember the mark when the NWA started back up? The question mark?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Yeah, he,
But they didn't make him a dumb character. They made actually he was good. I thought it was going to be just a lame duck character, and he ended up being. Oh, it was pretty good.
he passed away about a year
Yeah,
ago.
he
It was
did.
sad. Yeah, he was really doing. He's gonna follow him. He had a following. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I like the Brooklyn Brawler too.
Yeah, he was good. He looked his part.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I liked him.
He was one guy that was an enhancement talent for years, and then they gave him the push. And he went.
That
with
was another great person that no matter what they threw at him, he always took it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was a guy that could get beat by the stars, but if you weren't careful, you knew that he could do this. The persona of him beating because they'd throw him a few bones here and there.
Yeah.
And he was a mid-level. Now today's it's just like you go in there and beat up on no names, but they did the WWF during that time did a good time of having some of these mid-level guys that were, had some names but could win some matches.
Mm-hmm.
And put up a good match that you could watch. Like the Repo Man did a couple of good things, here and there,
Yeah.
and then the Genius was a good little mid-level guy that could do some things.
Oh, I liked it when he was the Genius. Yeah,
The Rick the Model Martel could do some things, but
That was good.
Going to be something big, but he could beat you or be a guy that you would have a little bit of a feud with.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of guys that.
I mean, I had a buddy of mine a couple months back. He had a tryout with AEW, and he was actually on YouTube. He fought Lance Archer. I don't know if you ever heard of the Meadowlands Monster, Lou Bruno.
Hear him.
Yeah, if you go back, I believe it was on one of the Darks, AEW Dark, and of course they weren't going to put him over, but the point was he was actually in the ring, and it was televised all over the internet. And he jobbed out to him, but he got to meet him personally, and they went over the match, and he met Jake the Snake and everything, and they told him exactly what to do. He did what he had to do, and from mark to mark, he hit everything. And he said just being in the ring with them, I mean, he didn't get the call back, but the point was he was in the ring. And he did what he does every day because he does shows like in New Jersey and all over. But he's a big guy too. He's not small. He was taller than Lance Archer in the ring.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big Cuban guy.
Lance Archer's a big boy.
Yeah, I met him doing the promos. Yeah, man, it's just...
Didn't you just get a belt, Richard, the other day?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm trying to remember what it was that you had got. It was NWA, like,
It was MP.
Yeah, he did it. Who did it? The leather looked pretty good, too.
This leather, I'm going to tell you what. It's... You know how when you get your belt re-leathered?
Right.
This leather feels just like it was re-leathered. That's how soft it is. I mean, I'm on my laptop, so my video's grainy. I mean... It's floppy.
Looks great.
I mean, the stitching on this thing and everything. Where's my camera?
So what made you into that particular belt? Is it one that you...
I was watching the old school stuff, and I pulled towards it. I'm getting into, like I said, Mark got me into the classic belts, and I'm starting to go back and watch the old wrestling and trying to learn. I don't just buy it. I'm trying to learn the history of the belt as I get one.
I mean,
I've
there's
learned-
certainly nothing wrong with buying it just because you like it and not having a history of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn the history on stuff. My memory, and like I said, I told Andy earlier, I used to watch with my dad the very first wrestler that I watched as a kid. I was born in 75, so my dad introduced me to Superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah.
And it just went on from there. And if my dad was alive today and he's seen all this behind me, he would go crazy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I kind of think of some people that I've lost along the way that I got to share some of my belts with, and my dad.
Oh, wait. Go ahead, Andy.
No, I was just going to say, if you could, go back and tell yourself as a child, Oh, you like those belts? Well, guess what? One day you're going to have so many, you're not going to believe it. I was no,
I couldn't.
no
I
way.
couldn't imagine it. Yeah, I couldn't imagine it.
I have
Yeah,
20
well,
something belts. There's no way
when
I
I
would
would-
ever dreamed I would have something like that. No way.
Yeah. Now, when I was little, I was like, no matter what it takes, I'm going to get me one of the dang belts someday,
Oh, yeah.
one day, and one how. And when I finally got, a good job and remembered that I wanted to do that, the first belt was back in 2001, and I remember just like it was yesterday. I jumped right on it, but we got spoiled back then. That was before, you had all these tubes. You were actually getting Millikins and Parks and J-Mars back then, and kind of got spoiled.
Yeah.
Until CS came along and is doing, some better work than some of what these boot guys are doing.
Yeah.
I got another question for you. Like I asked Andy earlier, and I had said mine would be the Big Gold because my dad and me, we started watching WCW Nitro, and my dad liked Goldberg, so I got the WCW Big Gold with the Goldberg nameplate. And I would have to say, if I had to get rid of any of my whole collection, that would probably be that belt and two of the promo belts that I've won personally would be the only belts I could never sell. What would be yours?
Me?
If you had to sell your whole collection and keep one or two belts.
Yeah, what's the one you would hold on to, Kev, of your collection?
Oh, it's got to be my Reggie NWA TV and Reggie Winged Eagle. Would probably
That Reggie
be the two
NWA
that I
TV
would
is
do.
so beautiful. Or
I'm the kind of guy that I like to keep my collection around that 12 mark, and then swap some of the N12. But there's there's my 5 that I will always hold on to that are some of my Reggies and Millikins, and there's a TV that's kind of a custom from Top Rope that I'm not going to get rid of because I love it too much.
Yeah, I want to start to flip my collection too.
But there's also that period of time. I've seen a lot of guys come into the hobby and have 20, 25 belts, and then they kind of like, okay, I like it, now I want to step up, and they'll drop down, they'll sell a bunch and drop down to that 10, 12, 15 range, and they'd be really, really nice belts. I've seen a lot of great guys do that. I know Ethan Thompson's got a great collection like that. He's done that. Joe of Tons has done that. Matt's done that. Matt C's done that. There's been a lot of guys that have done that. James, James has done that. He's really doing that. He's got 2 or 3 Top Rope belts now.
Wow.
Andy, you stepped up your game a long time from when some of the stuff you've got now is really nice.
I got like 23, 25, and I'm happy with it,
Yeah, I need Richard to send over that matching set to my NWA US tag. I need that match.
It's actually in my case now.
Because it matches size-wise, because they're a little bit undersized, and I need a little bit of undersized and undersized.
That's one of my favorite belts in my collection is the US tag. I love that belt.
I made a promise
when
to
you showed
somebody
that, I was
with
like,
a
wait a minute. That whole fiasco was still hilarious. I was like, no, dude, that's my belt. He sent you a different picture. And I didn't know there were 2, and I thought the dude was like actually scamming you until the actual showed up. I was like, okay, that's good.
No, I was. Trust me, I was like, oh man, I gotta talk to him. So when you know somebody and you've been dealing with them for a couple of years, you don't want to come out and say, hey, And I'm like, oh, can I have another clearer picture of that? You know what I mean? And he's like, sure, let me take another clearer picture. So,
Yeah, evidently he had mine on there from somewhere, but mine has that distinct mark on there to where, But evidently they were made together, and somebody owned them, and maybe he originally had both of them together.
And then they separated them.
Yeah, and he just sent you because they are identical except for that mark.
I'll tell you what, like I said, I promised somebody I got a TNA Wildcat from somebody. And they told me, if you ever get rid of that and you want to sell it, come back to me. And I said, you know what? I'll keep my word and I'll come back to you. So if I ever when I'm ready and if I ever have to get rid of it, you'll be the person I come to.
I'm pretty sure I can tempt it away from you. I think I got to see that. Besides, money talks, right?
Hey, that's what they say. Yeah, but Mark was the one that got me into the classics. When I got the Dome Globe from him, I mean, like I said, I wish we could have captured that with the volume. Mark said the look on my face when I opened it, it was like, I mean, I had one years ago, but I didn't think of anything and I just let it go, you know?
It's you when you get these belts, you just it's instantly. I've said it for many years. It's instantly that same feeling of when you saw it on TV.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And that's why I still like the old school wrestling, because even when I watch those and watch how they're treating the belt, how it is made prestigious just by the way they're like, watch Tully Blanchard and Iron, how they come up with it.
And they're not smacking them together. Every time they smack them together,
they did it right because the belt was what these athletes were going for, and they treated it with respect.
And
the
they
belt
always
was
talked
bigger.
about
The
it.
belt was bigger than the person. Now it's the wrestlers are bigger than the belt.
And they talked about the belt. I am this right here. I've got the gold. It wasn't so much even about the feud. It was about the belt that you're trying to get and incorporating it instead of just the feud.
Yeah.
And when I watch old school NWA wrestling, man, as soon as I see the couple of interviews, I'm walking right in the room and I take one out and I have to sit down with it because it gives you that nostalgic feeling.
Well, when I got the belt the other day, I opened it up. You know, my son's home to receive it. And every time I open the belt, he sees the same reaction to it. And he'll look, and I don't know if you know, but I mentioned it on the show earlier. My son is autistic. He's 21. And I collect figures with him too. But when I open a belt, I actually hand it to him. And I'm like, hold it. Dad, this is just a belt. I said, well, you know what I mean? It's just a piece of leather and metal, Dad. I said, you know, every time, I'm going to be honest with you, like you said it, every time I open a belt and I look at it, it brings me back to that wrestler in the ring, holding it during the interview, and it brings me back to that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's times I'm just rewinding the tape and pause it just to look at the belt. I didn't care what the guy said. I'm just wanting to see the entrance, to see the belt around their waist. And
when I got the NWA TV title from Mark, and Unique did the plates, Mark says, well, how do you want it? And I sent the picture of Arn Anderson holding it. You remember how he had it perfectly folded and doing the interview?
Yeah.
Yep.
I said, I want it to look exactly like that, Mark. And he nailed it. Not only did he nail it, he ran away with it, and he did a phenomenal job.
I mean, Tully Blanchard, how he tuck in under kind of like it's a book, and how he'd carry it. I mean,
yeah, like remember how Flair would always carry his belts with respect.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, with respect.
What's that saying? The wrestler doesn't make the championship makes the wrestler.
Yeah.
And a lot of those '80s wrestlers said, you know, they had more respect, even though it was a prop. They had more respect for the belts and whatever, but you weren't supposed to wear your belt unless you were going out to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you put the belt on. It was kind of mostly unwritten code that you carry the belt, but you only put it on or strapped it on when you were going to the ring.
For the match. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I could watch one of those other times, every time I see him carrying it or going to the ring, I'm like, every time I see it, there y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what, some of these wrestlers, when I'd ask them about their belts, stupid questions, they would, they'd say the same thing about how they treated it.
Like I said, every time I watch an old event or old show, like two of my favorites, like I was telling Andy earlier in the group chat, if I had to pick two of the ones from the past, Starrcade 86, the Skywalker match was one of my all-time favorites, and the War Games.
Yep. Many of the Starrcades are just...
yeah, we were talking about when Magnum TA and Tully, the I Quit match.
The I Quit match. Yep.
Oh.
Right there.
One of the best.
Right there.
One of the best.
Right there in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That was when Rock and Roll also beat the Russians and got their title first.
Mm-hmm.
You never seen the guys smacking the titles together back in the day.
I hate when they do that now.
They treated it with respect.
I hate when they do. Oh,
I get it'd be interesting to see what everybody's, and maybe we should do a poll in there about who was the worst, or try to get the top 3 worst people that treated belts. I mean, I know Ultimate Warrior and Stone Cold would be up there.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, when they just threw him in the ring.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Ultimate Warrior just swung him. I mean, I was like, every time I was a kid, I was like, don't do that.
What about when Seth Rollins swung it?
I like
But-
Roman, but I hate it when Roman used to just carry it the other way on his shoulder. It's like, don't do that.
But
It's
as
like
far
carrying
as
it like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah,
And remember when Stone Cold? Every time Stone Cold's come in, he's dragging it and throws it down before he gets into the ring. And
Yeah.
Remember how he just tossed the Winged Eagle aside when he took the Big Eagle? I was like,
remember when the Midnight had the U.S. tag title and the World?
and the world.
You'll never. That was wonderful.
That was
I
awesome.
loved it. All the pictures with them with both belts.
That was awesome.
That was great.
And I hated growing them up, and it didn't take me till I took an adult till I started loving them
Mhm.
because I appreciated it more looking at it from a standpoint of as an adult than a kid. As a kid, I couldn't stand them. I hated them.
Yeah.
I got that thing in my head with the line from Step Brothers. Remember when we were kids and we wanted these? Now we're in our 40s. We can get them.
That was the Chewbacca mask or something. Or
Yeah.
they were trying. And there's a funny thing with one. I think they were trying them on in the fort or whatever, and it's like I must have got the cheap version, and because one of them had a plastic one of them had the real movie. Mine's he goes, mine's not movie quality screen. Mine's not movie screen quality, but that's okay.
Every time I hear that, I laugh because I'm on TikTok too.
Their movies together are great. Talladega Nights with them two are in it are funny. Watching the outtakes of them doing commercials
Oh yeah,
at the end of Talladega Nights. Have you seen that?
yeah.
That's one I haven't. I'm gonna have to watch that. I've never seen that.
Oh, you've got to watch Talladega
Okay.
Nights. You will
I started-
laugh at the end of it too. Wait for the credits because they'll show you blooper reels of them doing other commercials as the two drivers,
Mhm.
and they're just doing some of the stupidest mess. And then you got to go doing Chinese stuff. He's like, "Wong dong wong dong 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 Ricky Bobby."
I was doing that when I was doing the promo stuff. I mean, I do it here and there. They were asking for commercials, so I'm like, what am I going to do for commercials? So I did a milk commercial. I had the nerd glasses and dressed as myself. So I started drinking the milk, and I had my friend help me with the editing. And as soon as I was done with the milk, I instantly turned into the warden with the headband, the chain, and everything. So now that I'm drinking milk, I could be the best promo artist ever.
It would have been funny for Ricky Bobby to do one. Do you get drunk on the weekends and beat your wife? Use attorney John Henson, attorney at law. He will make sure beating your wife is a weekend tradition. I was like, man, that should have been a good one. You drink too much Budweiser and beat your wife?
Oh, that's good. Oh,
I love the ending credits though.
Do you like do you like wife beaters? Well, we're the official wife beaters of a wife beater. And there's so many good ones that you've done that
Well,
probably
like
wouldn't have been
at the
today
end of
you'd have been like ostracized if you
remember at the end of Smokey and the Bandit 2, they had a bunch of outtakes in that. At the end of that, it was hilarious.
yeah.
Like I said, every time somebody gets a new belt or something like that, or a new figure, I just automatically hear that stepbrother line in my head.
I wish guys in our group, and I'm trying to get more and more of us, hey man, you can post autographs, you guys can post your figures, post up your stuff. I know they do it a little bit more in Love Wrestling Belts. I'm trying to get it to do more in wide world.
Yeah, I
guys
would love-
guys out there
I-
show your figures, show your autographs, so anything wrestling related.
Yeah, anything wrestling related, you know what I mean? I mean, so what if you might not even have a belt, but you collect figures, you collect memorabilia,
Absolutely.
you know? We're
Autograph,
all-
any of it.
Yeah, we're all about the love of wrestling and sharing the love of wrestling and sharing it with everybody and just have pride in it, and no matter what it is. I don't care if you paid $1 for your belt, you paid $1,000 for your belt. If you earned that money and you bought it, that means the most.
It means something in your heart. That's all.
Yeah. Everybody's got a price bracket because everybody's got a level of how much they want it to be, how much of a hobby you want it to be. Other guys, there's some guys, well, I want one, but I don't want to spend thousands on it. But there are other guys that do. Just same thing with whether it's guns, whether it's knives, whether it's motorcycles, whether it's cars. There's all different levels of hobbies. And it's all
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
Hey.
I'll tell you what. If it wasn't for the layaway plans, I wouldn't probably have most of the collections I had.
Layaway
I
helps
wanna-
a lot of people. Yeah.
I want to say at least 5% of my collection I've won in raffles or events,
Mm-hmm.
but
Does
the rest.
Package Fuel make you pay all of it down, or are they half? And
No, you can pay as you go.
Oh, okay.
You can pay as you go, which is
So
really
actually-
good.
Actually, you could stick $100 in the bank, and by two years in, you could have it paid for.
Yep.
Why is it becoming 2 years? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Well,
got
like I said,
if you got that many orders, hire some people.
Exactly. Bring in more people and
well, there was a couple of people that said, if you know you have like one particular belt or 3 particular belts, you mass produce them, you keep them in stock, and you know they're going to sell.
Yeah.
But
Which
I went with.
I think they're at a point where they can't mass produce anything because they got so many orders. I think it's a process of where, what they should do, but they're not. I mean, they should do just group things. They should make, 50 belts at one time and then
Yes.
move and go down the list of the guys like, hey, are you still interested in doing this? If not, move on. Then a definite time frame of getting your belt instead of waiting 2 years and then.
yeah. If they would just realize how great it is to say, oh, yeah, I want that Intercontinental. You have it in stock. Okay, here's the money. Send it to me. I mean, they get the money right then and there. The customer's happy. No wait.
I mean, didn't they get some
No,
new
like-
machinery in and some new acid baths and stuff like that? Something like that.
Yeah.
I went with I just used the new belt maker. I went through Big Ben and Jermaine, and they hooked me up with Jagger Jane, and he got this one belt going. I was surprised how fast he got it going, and I mean, the contact, he was updating me, as the process went along. And I told Andy earlier, my CWA, he contacted me earlier, and he told me, he says, look, I don't feel comfortable with sending you this one, but I wanted to send you pictures. I want to make it better, and I could do it, but it's going to take me a little bit. I said, you know what? Thank you for being 100% honest with me, and I respect that. I said, if you feel it's not the best quality, I believe your honesty, and I could wait a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So-
impressive, and that's the only way for these little guys to get into the market is to do stuff like that.
I mean, this belt, like I said, the Stampede belt, I was blown away. The leather, the design in the leather itself, the lacing. I mean, I don't know what kind of leather it is, but it's really, really soft.
I'd
And
like
you know
to get-
how-
I would like
Go
to
ahead.
get one of the Crummies from CS. I would like to get my hands on one of those.
But I tell you what, it didn't have that smell neither that usually you get from overseas. In the belt, the leather, it didn't have that. You know that
It's-
real
it's that-
strong chemical smell?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
chemical, like, not a motor oil, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
Their
a factory
paint or
smell of some sort.
their stain or whatever there is, an
Yeah.
oil-based stain that they're using. It's really oily or something.
This is like a natural leather, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what
what it
you
is.
want. You wanna
Even the
smell it before
backing.
you want to smell it just as soon as you crack that box open. You want to have that leather smell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've still got Reggie from 2001. As soon as you open the glass cabinet, you can still smell that leather.
I keep those little packets in my cabinet with the belt. I put it in the middle of the belt. So when it's in the
About the-
glass cabinet,
You talking about the moisture packet?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let them get too dry though, because they will
No.
dry them. It will pull moisture out of you. You don't want your belt to. Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
your belt too dry. If you live in a moist home or moist environment or an older home, then yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But be careful. Like I tell people, if you have where the sun hits your belt every day, you need to do more conditioning your belts than others. If you have it,
well, I
Or
do that
your-
every.
yeah, if your belts are shut up to where they don't get airflow, condition them a little more than others. That type of thing. It's just taking care of it. But yeah, that leather smell is something that's second to none. When you know it, you know it.
Yeah.
Kev, how do you feel about turtle wax on belts?
Do you break out the buffer? The orbiter?
I mean, I get it. There's some belts that it's not going to hurt. That's because it's not real gold plating.
Yeah.
It's just your spray paint.
Mm-hmm.
But it is even going to still remove some of that. It's just that you can't be doing that. And if you don't believe me, then hold on to your belt long enough and keep doing it. But
I mean, the first thing it's going to take off is a protective lacquer. That's gone.
yeah, but it's going to eat that gold. It's going to eat
the gold.
If it's real gold plating, it's going to eat it. It's going to take off that shine. You're going to have to keep doing it more and more and more. No.
You know who has a
Dawn warm soap and then just a buff cloth, microfiber cloth.
Microfiber cloth. Yeah.
And you're golden.
the Walmart ones?
Yeah.
I
got some. They're great.
Microfiber, yeah.
You know what works good too?
Yeah, the eyeglass. The eyeglass.
Yeah, the eyeglasses. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm.
You know who has a nice, awesome ring-worn collection and gave me front row tickets to AEW one time?
Who's that?
Dan Lambert.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, I was telling Andy, we went to a show when they were last down here in Fort Lauderdale. Me and my buddy, we had seats up almost pretty much like middle way, not too far from the top. So we're sitting there, and Dan Lambert walks past, and I'm decked out in AEW gear. He's got his stuff on. And I see him out of the corner of my eye, so I said, "Hey, Dan, how's it going, man?" He's like, "Good." He goes, "You guys know where the entrance is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's over there." So he goes to walk away, and he comes back. He goes, "Do you guys have tickets?" And I'm like, he's like, "I got some extra front row tickets if you guys want them."
Yeah, sure.
I'm like,
I'll take them.
okay. I felt bad, though, because there was two other teenagers, but they were decked out in WWE gear. I don't know why, you know. I felt bad. And there was 3 tickets. If there would have been 4, I probably would have gave them, you know, the other 2. But I was like, I told my friend, I said, he goes, "What about the seats we bought?" I said, "Forget them." I said, front row was worth losing that.
Yeah.
You just upgraded it. You just who cares? You just spent for your seats and got front row seats.
Did you?
I had every
Did you get on TV, Richard?
every single show.
I bet you got
I had my cousin, I had friends up north telling me, "Hey, jackass, put down the phone and watch the show." And then I felt like a mark because CM Punk came out, and I was like this, and he went over there, and I was like, my hand was like this. I was shaking. I'm like, I'm a grown man. I'm shaking because the wrestler touched my hand. And then at the end when Cody does the Q&A, he comes down and he goes over to me. He's like, "How'd you like the show?" You know what I mean? We're off the air. He's like, "Hey, let's take a picture, man." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, Cody Rhodes."
Cody's a good guy.
I got.
Yeah, he seems like a really genuine person. It's a guy you can't really.
He's like his dad, man.
You know,
I think he's like
he's
his dad.
He's always doing something nice for somebody.
Yeah, always.
Did you see the little fan that jumped the railing?
When was this?
It was at one of the shows. We're at 5 minutes to go, guys. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, one of his little fans jumped the railing to run over to Cody as he was talking to some other fans. And security went to rush him right away, and Cody
stopped him.
Yeah, he walked him over and he talked to him for a little while and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. You know what I mean?
Every time you see a video of him, he's doing something for somebody, or you always see a picture with him after a match with somebody. He seems really genuine. I think he kind of gets it that I'm fortunate to be in the situation I am. You know?
I think he gets that from his father.
I took my wife to the Ring of Honor shows.
I have a gut feeling that he's going to. I know he's going to be WWF champion again. I mean WWE champion, but I have a feeling that he's going to bring back an actual real wrestling belt instead of this logo. I just got a feeling that WWE is ready to say, "Hey, let's do an overhaul so we can make more money on belt sales and go back to something with a little bit of a twist." I really feel that's coming.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Because they're all about making money for their belts, and making these belts, and it's time. I think it's time for a change.
The cookie cutters have got to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not a title. It's just a
It's a
promotional
logo.
It's
Just
that's
a
not
logo.
you know.
That's all it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
when, like I said, I took my wife to the Ring
And
of Honor
make
show.
and make your matches about the belts along
Mhm.
with the feud. I mean, I get it's about the feud, but make it about the world title. Talk about the world title.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
build it, and build it, and build it, and build it.
And take your time.
It's the slow
Spotlights
marination.
on the smaller titles.
Yeah, the mid card titles.
The WWE has lost the ability to put, the mid card titles, and because they're only focused on the main card, and you're going through storylines like crazy when you can stretch out a storyline.
The
you're
Intercontinental
focusing
used to
on
mean
other
so
mid
much.
cards.
Now it doesn't mean squat.
That was right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I'd like to see
Now-
the tag titles and the tag team division in the WWE get better. But it
Yeah,
stinks
Vince
in the
Vince does
WWE.
not
It's
care.
terrible.
He just uses the tag team now to pull his singles wrestlers from it. He doesn't give a darn about the tag titles.
I'd like to see the tag titles merge together and have only 2 belts. The world title have 1 belt.
Makes too much sense.
Um,
That makes too much sense.
Maybe possibly
I mean,
bring
if you
in a
wanted
TV
to-
title.
If you wanted, if you wanted two belts, then go with the WWE United States Tag Team Champions or a
We're-
European Tag Team Champions. You know, you can build things off of that if you want 2 belts, but having 2 sets of tag team champions just because they're on SmackDown and one of them
Yeah.
that's just
And that
always
24/7 is just pure garbage joke. It's just a joke. I mean,
We're down to 1 minute. When we end, guys, stay on. I'm going to take you off and run the credits. And once the credits are over, I'll end the broadcast and I'll keep you guys in there. We can talk for a few minutes if you'd like. I want to take this time to thank Andy. Kev, thanks for popping on with us. Or they call you Dave.
Yeah, man. Dav, yeah.
Oh, Dav.
Nickname's Dav. D-A-V.
I want to again thank Mark Maggard for allowing me to run the show and you guys for allowing me to do this. And
did a great job, Richard.
I was nervous at first, but Andy got me past that point, and
Nothing to worry about.
this was a great experience, and I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Andy's a good groomer.
Gruber? Okay.
So
Andy's
I'm
good
gonna
at grooming. Yeah, he'll get you calmed down.
all right. I'm gonna run the extra credits, the ending credits, and then I'll bring you guys backstage.
Take care, everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good night.